Hey guys, Musa here from Quantum Home Improvements and Solutions. Welcome back to our live chat. And if this is your first time to our channel, it's great having you join us. And so today I'm with my good friend Joseph Sukkar from Intellect Finance.
Hey guys.
And John.J.Jr.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a good New Zealand name.
Now, I have been told that before, yes.
You might be confused now that he spoke. But anyway, so today our live chat is basically, or to the most part, about a video we released about 3 weeks ago. Can you underbore under a driveway using a pressure cleaner and a sewer pipe? And that was a great time making that video, eh, Jay?
It was, yeah. It was. You just called me Jay.
I've got Jay on the brain. Now, so there's a reason why I called him Jay, because during the start of the live chat, someone's just put a message in, is it? Good. Sorry, I'll get you to read that message. It might be something important.
Tina Cece says, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Tina.
Hey, Tina. In actual fact, it's probably Marion. But anyway, hey,
There
Marion.
we go.
Sorry about that. I got distracted. Okay, so when we first started making that video, we were unsure if it's going to work. I did say in video it's going to be probably a 75% chance we'll do this. And a lot of people were saying to us it's not possible. And one particular person, Jay, who knows a lot about pressure cleaning and pressure washing, said it's not possible. And so I got him on video and quoted him. And so while we're making the video, I'm talking on the camera, and then Joe starts talking to me and I couldn't hear him. So I go up to him and say, what was that? And he said, if we succeed underboring under the driveway, then Jay owes us a brisket, a smoked brisket.
Smoked brisket. Yes.
Yeah. And then, but if it failed, that Joseph will make a Lebanese barbecue. Is that right?
Because I knew we weren't going to stop until he won.
This guy is stubborn, more stubborn than me, and that's a big thing. Anyway, so it was a lot of work, a lot of hard work. So what we did, we then went to Jay and said, would you come on a video on the live chat? He said he wasn't able to. And so we organised to go to Joe's office and we had a meeting with Jay. And so what was interesting is that his response to it, and he did concede, but not in a direct way. So I'm going to play this video and see what he said.
Hey Jay! How you going,
How are
man?
you, Moses?
Hey,
Hey Joey, how are you, mate?
Oh man, have a seat.
Thanks, buddy.
Wow, Jay. Now, you watched the video, didn't you? Of the
did.
underboring?
Fake news, mate.
Jay.
Telling
But
you.
there's one question I've got to ask you. One question. Where's the brisket?
I've got something right
Whoa.
here.
You're a man of your word.
I am. Do you know what this means, Jay?
Wow.
This is not fake news.
Well, yours is. That's for real.
There he is.
That ain't AI either.
You honoured the agreement.
Man of
Wow.
honor, man of word.
Mate, hey, you know what? Just in case you didn't bring anything, I improvised.
Oh.
And I wish George was here, you know? I really wish George was here because
Oh, chicken nuggets.
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 Check them out. Nuggets. Guys,
Smell that.
hey, nuggets.
Oh, they're still hot as well.
Actually, yeah. Cheers. So, Jay, honestly, what do you think of the video?
Mate, it was good, but I'm telling you, it didn't happen. Didn't happen. It's impossible. Not with a little gurney like that.
Jay, we didn't even know if it's going to happen or not. When I interviewed you for that, we just started that morning and we went in just a partial bit and it looked pretty frightening.
It was. But I mean, it was frightening the whole time, man. We keep getting these rocks.
Yeah.
It's not going to go through.
Well, the rocks got bigger and bigger. Okay, and so when I spoke to you, I actually had doubt in my mind that we'd do this. Honestly, I thought about 75%, but the lucky stones are not lucky, right? And so when we started boring in further and further, Joe's actually had more enthusiasm than me and kept saying, Moose, we're going to do it. And in the end, we get this massive lucky stone. I saw it with a torch. I thought, nah, So I pulled out the tractor. I thought, cheating, not cheating, who cares? We got a deal here. Brisket.
Well, it's here. Even though I think it's fake news, it did happen.
You were the inspiration. the whole
You
time.
actually were the inspiration.
We were just thinking Jay and brisket. That's it, and that's what got us through.
That's what, honestly, that's actually what has got us through, because I was struggling. Joe was doing all the hard stuff. I was still struggling with my back, and I was ready to give up at about 2 meters. And
What you can't hear in this is just your excitement. You're covering it up. It didn't happen.
it did happen.
It didn't.
You know how I know it happened?
How?
Okay, first of all, there's a hole in the ground. Second of all, you bought a brisket.
How did I know? Let's correct you. This isn't a brisket.
Oh no, we got ripped off.
It's pork.
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork.
Oh.
Joe, we got ripped off.
Just to prove to you that I still doubt you. Right?
I don't know, man.
But as I said, who knows? Like in between your shots, you could have got someone else to come out. Like no one was there.
Yeah, there was.
Who?
Us two.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But you two are co-conspirators.
Now, okay, there's another question.
I reckon Chicken Nugget would agree with me that
Okay,
like
well, I want to ask you a question about chicken nugget. So, is it true or not true? Did we land on the moon?
100% we did not land on the moon.
That's fake news. That's where you got fake news.
No, bro. I'm telling you, we didn't go. Your dodgy footage is as bad as NASA's footage. I'm telling you. The only thing missing out of your video is like a flag, not flying properly. And the shadows.
Oh, the shadow.
Joe's shadows.
AI.
It was AI generated. Look, your videos are getting better, man. But like,
thank you.
honestly, they're...
Hey, hang on. When you watch that video, please tell me, honestly, what did you call me?
What did I call you? Steven Spielberg.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Yeah, he
I
called
think
me
you're doing a
Steven
fantastic
Spielberg.
job. I've done some photo editing in the past. I don't know how difficult it is. And mate, I got to
It was a lot of work, I've got to be honest. It was a
Very
lot of
proud of you, mate. Not to just do the content, but then also do the editing piece. I reckon sometimes editing.
The editing's really hard, I've got to be honest. There's a lot of work in that. And we had a number of days where we were doing this. So there's a couple of short days, a couple of long days. And yeah, the editing was really important. But I went and bought a torch, 1,000 lumens, purposely to see right inside that hole.
Yeah.
And that torch is brilliant. And the footage, I thought, once I saw the hole, I could see the rock. I thought I'm going to get my camera down there. That in itself was a bit of a struggle, but I did it.
Is that after the plumber left? Because really, like all the outtakes are pretty good. What you forgot to like
To
leave
film
in there,
film the
film
plumber.
I reckon Charlie the plumber.
Can I tell you honestly, in all seriousness, when that pipe came through, Joe and I just went off the deep end. We just said, well, the first thing came to our mind. Joe goes, "Where's Jay, man?"
How many days did that take you?
4 days.
4 days. How many
4 days.
hours?
A lot of hours.
We're stubborn. Denise.
That's the only reason I half believe it, maybe.
Joe thought he can break the Lucky Stone with that 60 by 60 mil steel pipe, and he was slamming it to the point where he actually rolled the edges about probably 400 or 500 mil in. They all rolled in. And I said, Joe, I said, we're not going to do this. I said, we're going to give it with a tractor, give it a go. If it works, it works. It worked. It just pushed that rock straight through.
I'm surprised that you didn't cut the concrete and just like dig it.
No, it wasn't an option. It was underboring was the only option.
So the covers will come off and you'll actually release the real video where...
No, didn't you watch it?
Mate, I'm telling you. But that's all right. Like we'll celebrate with a bit of pulled
There's
pork.
only so much you can fake with a video.
Mate,
Not with AI. Not with AI.
Not with AI. And I'm going to call you two boys NASA 2.0.
Anyway, Jay, thank you very much for coming in. That's brilliant.
Mate.
Thank you very much.
Well done, boys.
Thanks for
Very
the pulled
proud
pork.
of you.
And Joe, thank you. What an effort, man. This guy is a wash and a half.
Cheers, chicken nugget.
That was funny. Chicken nugget. So this is a conspiracy. We didn't land on the moon, and the underboring didn't happen.
He still didn't believe it.
That's funny. And we got ripped off. We didn't get a brisket.
We got pork. It tasted good, bud.
Hey, I've got to say, you know what? I have made a video, just a short one on us tasting it. I'll release that in a sec. But first, Yeah, there's a few messages here, so I've asked John if he can read them out to us.
Thanks everybody for joining in, and the feedback is great. Chicken Nugget, I think, unfortunately, is heavily controlling the conversation. I think the theme here in your defense, Chicken, is that Jay needs to show up with, may I quote you, Chicken, a truckload of smoked brisket after his meal.
Is that what he said? A truckload?
He did. That looks like a demand to and definitely land on the moon. Yes. Well, I would agree.
Hey, did he say they did or did not?
We definitely never landed on the moon.
George, I got to tell you about that. Pork was really, really nice. It was, well, it had me thinking chicken, pork. I really had to think a lot.
In actual fact, I wasn't going to do this straight away, but I'll do this now. I'm going to run just a quick video. It's only a few seconds of Jay giving us a taste of the pork.
Excellent.
Oh, we finally got our brisket.
Pork.
Pork.
Halal. 100%. This supposed to eat. Hey? This supposed to eat.
Wow. That's good, man. That's not fake news. That tastes good.
Not artificial intelligence. It's proof is in the pudding, boys.
I'm sorry. Chicken nugget does better than chicken.
That's funny. That tasted great, eh?
It was good. It was.
You missed out, John.
Something to look forward to in the future.
But you know what, John? You're not going to miss out on this. Okay. John is a crazy New Zealander donut eater.
Yes, this is an accusation that has been made against me before.
And if you're confused about the accent, I believe Johnny's a New Zealand citizen, a New Zealand citizen. Is
So
that
I was born in Auckland, in New Zealand. My parents are from the West Coast, so to
West Coast of?
the U.S.
Aha. So you went back?
Sort of. That is a long story for another time. But yeah, the accent is definitely mom and dad, but I carry the New Zealand, American, and for good measure, the Australian passport.
Okay, so now, John, I know you love donuts, so I've got 2 plates here. Now, both Joe and I, our wives are very strict and they want to look after our girth. So between the two of us, we're going to eat probably half of that plate. But John, I expect you to finish that plate.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
There are a lot of expectations that my wife has of me. I tend to not achieve much of that.
We've tasted Moose's donuts and they're really good, right?
They are good.
But I thought today I want to compare them to someone else's donuts, and I thought of Dolly's donuts, and they're local. They're in Glenbrook, so I brought some donuts.
Glenbrook, did you say?
Glenbrook, yes.
Wow. There we go.
Dolly's donuts.
I should put it on the.
There we go.
I don't think you can see. You probably have to go up close.
Oh, then we got it there.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no plates here, so we're going to have to dirty our fingers.
It's simply a dig-in process.
You've tasted Moose's donuts before?
I have.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Just a few.
Okay, so with the underboring, I want to get straight into it. So Joe, when we first made that video, on the first day we went in about, I think, 600 mil. It was only a very short amount.
It was.
And then I had to change the nozzle, and once we changed the nozzle, we were able to go in easier and better. I think it was actually more than 600 mil. It was around 600 mil. The following day, we had better success. Now, we did this over 4 days. There was 2 short days, 2 long days. So the last day was the long one, and Joseph has a very good business, Intellect Finance. I even use his pens, so he's very busy at work, but he donated his time to make this video. So if you don't know, I do have a spinal injury. It's known as cauda equina syndrome, and so I'm restricted in a lot of things. So when I do make these kind of crazy videos, I need what you call a wahash to help me. And so Joe is not just a wahash, but a wahash and a half.
It was fun. We had fun, but
it was great. It was great. And as usual, there was a lot of bantering. But I got to tell you, when we had a fencing bar that's 1.6 meters, and it can only go through not even halfway of the driveway. And Joe wanted to drive that thing in, and we just kept hitting stones, and we hadn't hit any big ones yet. So then I went to Oz Rio and got a 3 meter Rio bar, quite thick, thicker than me. and shaved the end, made a pointy end, and we used that, and that went through almost the other end.
A lot of improvising. That was
Yeah.
good improvising actually.
So lucky stones can go up to 300 mil wide. In the first 2 meters, we were hitting just the smaller ones. When we hit the big ones, I thought, that's it, we're just going to give up. But then I decided to pull the tractor out and use the 60 by 60 mil square tube steel and just pushed it through, and it went through beautifully to a degree. And then Joe thought we'll go back to the bar, and he was slamming it. And he slammed it so hard for a fair few hits that he damaged an old sledgehammer, but also bent the steel about around 400 or 500 mil in. The guy was a wahish. Seriously, he's a hard worker.
We wanted it to work.
Was Jay's addition to it to try and to sort of get the mud cleaned away before the stones? Is that the...
Jay gave us no physical help in the sense of no technical help.
That's not fair. He gave you the drive.
He gave us the most important bit. He gave us the drive to make sure that this happened.
Absolutely.
And luckily...
But that's Jay's part in all of it, though. To try and drive you guys to, achieve the unachievable.
Well, it would not have been achievable if it wasn't for Korea.
Okay.
Korea, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the tractor I used was a TYM, which is a Korean-made tractor. And so let me tell you, that thing is incredible. That's done so many things around this property. I love that machine. I've done a review on it. I think I have a link in the descriptions if you're interested to see that video. If you're looking for a tractor, it's only a semi-compact, 27 horsepower, 4-in-1 bucket, can pick up things, does crazy things. The only thing you've got to watch out for in any kind of tractor, if you're on an angle, you can actually roll it and you can hurt yourself or kill yourself. So you've got to be really careful on those things. And this property is very hilly, so I've learned the hard way to be very careful on a tractor. But yeah, so when we used the tractor, when we got to the certain point, 2 meter, I said, Joe, we're going to have to. We started using the bar, and then we got the tractor to push it in. It pushed the rock up in the air, actually, not in the air, but above, and we were able to go further. And then we got to another rock, and so we just used the tractor and just pushed that thing straight through, and it was fantastic. When we then used the pipe, the gurney, to clean out that hole, because that only made a 60 by 60 millimeter hole, the tractor just pushed it through, and just brilliant. I loved it.
It was a really good teamwork between the tractor and me. And you,
and me were coming up with ideas. Joe actually had a few good ideas too. I
must say, I did think halfway through the video, I thought, what is the point of it?
There's a problem, guys. My brother's seen the video and he wants me to help him do his driveway as well. And
the same thing.
I've got to do it twice.
This becomes the problem, unfortunately, is that when you're successful once, you become an expert on it.
I've got to tell you, underboring, that would have cost, to get a plumber to come and do that, I'm going to guess, it would be probably between $2,000 to $4,000. So, I did save a bit of money on that.
It was definitely worth it then.
Not really. I think the effort, 4 days of work and killing ourselves, and just really, it was a lot of work.
$4,000, that's $1,000.
Well, I don't know, it's 4, but I'm just estimating. It depends on what the machine that they underbore, they actually cut into it, and if they could cut through the lucky stones. If they couldn't cut through the lucky stones, they'd have to get a different borer.
Yeah.
And those lucky stones, the last one was quite big. So,
That was
so anyway.
To segue here, this whole point has no connection with your internet access, though, correct? It was more of a drainage action than anything else.
Correct. So we had a water problem, and it was through the side of the house. It runs about 30 meters, and we collect, because we're on acreage, we collect water from all different directions. And through that channel where the garage is coming down that side, when we put the concrete around, we raised the ground level. But the guy doing the excavating said that he'll put a nice fall on it, and he didn't. And in fact, when I first made the video, I thought it had a slight fall on it. When I started getting into it, check my levels to see how it's going to drain into the pit and then go under the road, I found that it actually went up. It went the other way, went the opposite direction. So I had to then get my tractor.
Which means it's then collecting towards the house then.
To the fence, to the back. Yeah, so
it was flooding, so you couldn't walk to the shed.
I could walk to the shed, but it was running over the driveway. You couldn't go over the grass area, and if you want to mow it during summer, you'd have to wait for it to all dry back up, and it took a long time. So that's why it needed a pit there. But the water was backing up to the back of the shed as well. So it wasn't just there; it was backing up everywhere.
So it's the
It was necessary.
The ultimate end goal was drainage, basically.
It was drainage.
And does it drain now out just straight out into that hillside?
Yeah, so just where the battery is, just a little bit of a slope.
Yep.
That was created for our driveway, so we can make the driveway level. Right. So now it just goes the other end of the driveway under the batter, and it just drains. It's a 100 mil sewer pipe. Actual size is 115 mil, well thereabouts. I think the outside dimension. So it's a good drainage, and the pit, everything.
And a stupid question because I work in IT.
Yeah.
When you say a sewer pipe, you don't mean.
It's a sewer pipe.
What I think of as sewage, like toilets and stuff.
Correct.
Like that.
It's a sewer pipe.
Oh, it is sewer. Okay.
It's a sewer pipe. Okay. The reason we use sewer pipe, and most plumbers these days will use sewer pipes for drainage, because you have, unless you want to go to a 150, 200, 300 diameter pipe, in a domestic level, a 100 mil sewer pipe is a good drainage. Okay. If you use normal downpipe stormwater drainage, it's 90 mil. It's too small. Okay, and that's actual size 90 mil, where the sewer pipe is actually bigger than 100 mil. Even though it says 100, it's about 115 outside dimension. Now, so Charlie the plumber watched the video and laughed his head off, and you're saying Norm watched the video?
No, Shukri.
Shukri
needs to do it.
And so Charlie said with the pit, because we could not direct that pipe coming through where we wanted to. We estimated with the level what angle we're going to go, and we did that, and it actually did have the fall which we wanted, but probably a little bit more fall than I was expecting, and it landed halfway on the pit, not lower. Now, that's not an issue, because whatever collects into the water, any dirt, will just sit as soot in the bottom. You just clean it out.
Right.
But Charlie said, if you want, he told me later after he watched the video, he said, just get a drill and drill into the plastic, and he said, let some of it drain into the ground, just as a slow seepage.
So don't allow that black box to truly be clean.
No, he said it's fine. He said, but if you want it to drain, he goes, there's no problem putting a couple of holes in the base only.
There we go.
So then it'll be a slow seepage. It won't be soft soil, because it's so far down, it won't affect the upper soil.
And that black box is physically higher or slightly higher than the actual pipe itself, so that natural gravity will...
There's still about 250 mil above that pipe.
Okay.
So there's plenty of room for the water to collect and just drain under. It'd have to be a torrential rain for it to actually overflow. Okay. But if it did, because it's a 100 mil pipe, it will escape quite quickly after the deluge. You call it deluge?
Yes.
Yeah, a deluge. All right. So now one thing I want to talk about, and then these guys haven't eaten it. Oh, they've eaten one donut.
We haven't compared the Dolly's. George's. I know George is thinking about it. He's saying, Joe, you haven't tried the Dolly's donuts.
Yeah, he wants to try nuggets. That's what he wants. All right, let's try some quickly. There's a lot to get through.
Oops. There you go.
Oh no, you don't want cinnamon.
Oh, well, how are we going to compare it?
You got to put. Can you break it for me?
It's a fair comparison. So
yeah.
We can try the vanilla next.
Yeah. Wow, they feel warm. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Sorry to eat while on a live chat, which means none of us can talk. But apparently I can talk underwater, so it's fine. Okay. Now, this is a good time now, while John's eating, to mention about boring. Now, we don't have the greatest internet here, and you can see by the live chat the quality of the video, the broadcast. We are getting national broadband to connect fibre from the pit of the street, the Telstra connection, to our house, but it's 170 metres. They did come yesterday, and the guys were great. They put the box in and ran it from the point of garage to the point where the Telstra wires are now, but they haven't connected it because they weren't able to pull 150 metres down the road of my current Telstra connection. So they're going to come back and engineer how they're going to bore it. So John, it's a bit of a boring exercise, and I'm not going to even suggest about Joe and I doing 170 metres.
Beyond the fact that that's another one of your classic bad jokes. It a boring exercise. Boom.
Someone agrees with me. Moose is not funny.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say he wasn't funny.
No, he thinks I'm funny.
I just simply said it was a boring joke. So,
Thank you. That was very good. Very good, John.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now, so hopefully in the near future, we'll have better internet. But there's another issue. We have used another computer today, so I'm using all the same equipment as usual, and we've gone to a different room but the quality of picture still needs to increase, and that's because I need a better computer. So I'm going to ask you if you could please, if you are watching, if you'd share my videos and you share this live chat. We are trying to grow this channel. This is my main source of income. My wife does work, but she works casual. After my spinal injury, I had to recreate myself. And there's been a lot of generous friends that's been with me on the journey. A lot of people, okay, just even to go through all the names. I do have to mention my wife, Agapi. She's been very supportive. My girls, Marion and Mariah. My boys, Michael, Matthew and Marcus, which we're releasing a video next week with my boys, first time ever. And they're actually sort of talking, they're very shy. But I want to thank also Chicken Nugget. He's always with me. He's got a lot of responsibilities. He's got a sick child at home, but he always manages to help me. I've given him a break. I said, George, you need a break. You need to just spend some time with the family, and he knows that. And but he's so generous. He wants to help me all the time.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, George.
And also say Nugget. Anyway, so. When we do get if this channel grows, we get a better income, means that I can start buying better equipment. And I am always buying better equipment. So I'm putting whatever I make on YouTube, which at the moment is not a lot, I put back into buying better equipment, better cameras, better sound, and the sound is improving. So a lot going on. So I'd appreciate it if you could support us. Now, with upcoming videos, I need to talk about that. I want to talk about videos that I've released. I want to talk about that quickly. So I released a Cooper's Lager video. The reason I want to talk about that, because when I make my beer videos, I usually use the Cooper brand, and they have a best after date. So they have a GMO on all their products, genetically modified organism free. So they're really great beers, and they advertise that they have a best after date. Now, what does best after date mean? John, what does it mean to you, best after date?
I would assume that because there's a fermentation process that you need to wait until that particular date.
Correct, that happens, but what happens when, let's say, 13 years later? That's after?
Up to personal determination.
Do you reckon you'll get sick?
Probably.
Well, I contacted Frank from Cooper's, and he said, you will not get sick from drinking Cooper's beer 13 or more years later.
Wow. Yeah,
okay, so I've proven that because a very good friend of mine, Phil, and I mentioned this on the video, I'm not going to go through the story, but there was a tragedy. His brother made beer, Cooper's Lager, on the back of my recommendation, and so God rest his soul, Sam had an accident and passed away, but before that, he made a last brew of lager, and his brother Phil, who I contact regularly, said that he drank some of Sam's lager after 13 years, and he said it was great, still fantastic. Wow. Hence why I contacted Cooper's, and Frank gave me that information, and then I made a video on that. So if you're interested in watching that video, I got to be honest, I can't remember if I put a link below for that. If not, I will put a link for that. So the beer tastes great. So we will be tasting that on our live chat. The next live chat will be in July, probably mid-late July. I'm not sure the exact date. And
while we're boring you, sir.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a it was like we were working very hard. We were tired, and it was like an angel appeared carrying a case of beer. Bill West,
he turned up and he said, Musa, let's have a beer. And he makes his own beer, and we made a video with Bill. He makes it from scratch, and he brought brew that he made from scratch. And that was great.
That was it was a well-needed session. It was, everything was great. The cheese, the crackers. I got a sneak preview of the tasty new beers.
So it was good. And so I put a couple of beers out that Joe is still going to taste again on our live chat. So that live chat's coming up in July, as I said. And we've got the last few videos that I made, Canadian Blonde, Lager, and I think, what was the other one? I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And we're also, a video I have not released yet, which will be released in about 3 weeks, is going to be rice wine. Okay? Mitao. I think I pronounced that correct. Mitao. Some people know as sake. Now, sake itself is for Japanese, and they use a different kind of rice, It's the exact same process. In actual fact, they can date the Japanese sake back around about 500 years. No one's exactly sure on that. Sure. Chinese came up with mijiao, okay, and because they travelled around the Asian region, they brought the wine to other countries. They brought it to Japan. Right. And so they've been making it over 1,000 years. There's been claims 2,000 years, 3,000 years. No one knows, but it's been a long time. China brought it around. It was actually called mitao. Well, I'm not even pronouncing it correctly, but hopefully I'll get it right by the live chat. Anyway, so that video is coming up. We also made a video with improving or bringing back to life a Beefeater barbecue with Joe, and that thing was just incredible. We used rub-it-in magic degreaser, and we turned a 10-year-old barbecue that had been cleaned, but not the areas where the cooking was. Sure. So it was just totally black, and we brought it back to its original look. And there was still a couple of stains on there. We probably could have got them out, but time was really of an essence. We need to finish the video. And Joe said, Musa, this looks fantastic. Let's just leave it. And so I personally would have just wanted to get those last bits off, but it was just, they were stubborn stains, 10 years old.
I didn't even notice those. I thought it looked brand new.
Joe revealed to me later why that happened. He had a fire.
Oh.
The whole thing burnt.
Wow.
And so it singed the burn on, or the fat onto the barbecue. Hence why it was hard to take it off. If it had not been burnt with that fire, which apparently was quite intense, they put it out obviously, but we probably would have cleaned it a lot easier. So that wasn't revealed to me straight away. But Joe was just amazed how it cleaned. And so that's a great video. Fantastic video. Now, in our living room here, we have a split system air conditioning. It's turned off at the moment, so it doesn't interfere with the sound of the live chat. But we made a video really recently, how to maintain your split system air conditioner, with John Mellows from Darmel Air Conditioning, who's a very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine, very shy on camera, but did a great job explaining what's wrong with air conditioning. Joe asked the question, can the same process be done with a ducted system? I think they call it central heating in America. So there's central heating,
So basically central of something. So whether it's central heating or central air conditioning, it's central.
All right, so I need to speak to John about that. He's very busy, and I'm going to ask him, can we make another video in the future about how to clean central heating or a split system? Ducted system.
Because wouldn't all the filters be...
They're in a different area.
Yeah, in the roof.
Yeah. Well, no, the main one is the inlet, and then you've got the outlet. So you've got to just go to inlets and outlets. Right. But there are other filters. I don't know where they are, how they are, whether they need cleaning, but you do need servicing on your air conditioning.
Sure.
All right, so now we're going over time. We didn't intend to, but we are. So we're just going to go a little bit longer. I just want to talk a couple of more things. So the next video I alluded to with my boys, we made a video on how to make a playground, a multi-functional playground.
Oh, cool.
So we've had it already here for about 5 years, but it needed a desperate upgrade. Okay. First of all, I painted it with very expensive paint. It peeled off. Found out that galvanized needs a undercoat of a specific type for galvanized. So we've taken that paint back off. We cleaned the white rust off, and we repainted it using a Dulux paint, and it turned out fantastic. And we changed the colour to a nice pale eucalypt green, and then we put some more activities on there. So we already had some swings on there. Okay. We put tire climbing. It had monkey bars. It's quite a big area, and then we put our trampoline over there. But after the video was made, I got my girls to come and have a look at it. And they quoted on video saying that they wanted a couple of more activities. So we call it in Australia a seesaw, and also what's the other one? A seesaw and a slide. Okay. Now, a seesaw, John will understand. I think it's called something very different in American. It's the...
You got to remember, I wasn't raised there, so...
Do you remember a TikTok?
I
can't remember the name. I actually can't remember.
Maybe a hobby horse, or... No.
So they sit either side and they just pivot on the middle.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Anyway, so...
What did your grandkids think about it?
They love it. They love it. Yeah, they love it. They're not on the video, but we've got a couple of young crazy kids on there in the outro. That was great. I mean, it was a hard video to make. It took 2 days, or over 2 weekends actually. 2 days over 2 weekends. So that's the next video to be released, and I'm looking forward to that. And so I spoke about rice wine. There's also how to install a grab rail in your bathroom. A friend of mine, Angela, had an accident, broke her foot, and had to have an operation. She didn't tell me till 2 months later and said, Musa, I'm allowed to stand up and have showers again, but I need a grab rail. She went and bought them and hoping that I can install them for her. And I am actually quite busy at the moment. There's a lot of videos being made. And so a lot of my videos take a long time to make, just like the underboring or the playground. So I did sneak out there, made a video, put a lot of pressure on me, but it's in now. And so that video will be released in a few weeks. And then another friend of mine asked me a few months ago, and we've made the video. It's not complete in editing, but how to change fly screens on your door.
Thank you. I should interrupt you, Musa, very quickly. Thank you, Chris, for assisting us with that. The name is Teeter Totter.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew there was a name, Teeter Totter. Thank you.
That shows my extensive American race childhood.
Well, can I tell you where I knew there was another name for it? From the Brady Bunch.
Oh, God.
Does that bring back memories?
It does. It does.
Okay, so that's pretty much the end of this video. This live chat. And so I will post when the wine beer tasting will be. And as I said, it's going to be sometime probably just after mid-July.
Okay.
And there's a normal panel will be on. So Joe Sukkar, as far as I understand, things happen. People can't always attend, but we're anticipating Chicken Nugget, Bill West, Dr. Penner, Ron Penner, and also Father Jeff. I can't remember his surname. Anyway, Father Jeff, who's on the video, helped me make the rice wine.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay.
It's going to be good.
And I actually found some honey mead. You know how I ran out of honey mead? I actually still have a little bit of honey mead.
That's actually one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Really
but I can't remember if it's the one that we sweetened or not.
So they were both nice. They were both nice.
Yeah.
Can we look forward to a newer internet connection by then?
Yeah, so John has been fantastic. I'll finish off with this. John has been fantastic because we now have to we need to now rerun Cat6 cable, which is more of an internet cable, but it's a communication cable from our phone line, which is in the kitchen, and we're going to then run it to the garage and all the points, one here, the lounge room, the theatre room, and we've got to run from different points. We've got to run it back to the garage. So John has generously offered his time, and so we're going to be running that in the future. But
John may regret this.
but
John generally does regret the experiences when John makes the offer. It's one of those. It was a great
okay. Let's take that regret partially away from you.
Okay.
You went into my roof a couple of days ago just to look at the access.
I did.
What did you think of my access in the roof?
All jokes aside, the way that the roof of this house has been built is phenomenal. Because basically what you can do, within reason, is that you can effectively walk around the access points.
Yeah, between the trusses. And there's lights everywhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I mean, no offense to you, but it's less to some degree about the lighting because you can compensate for that lighting with headlights or something along that lines. But the fact that you can move easily around is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that, from a construction perspective, that's huge because in the future it means that you can do so much more with cabling. And when there is a need to do it, you can do the upgrade. So.
Well, John, this is the fourth house I've built, and every house I design myself, and I know, and now with the spinal injury, it's even more interesting how this worked. But I can still get in the roof and still slowly get around.
Sure.
We've got a catwalk, so we've got so you can walk through, but you've just got to duck the trusses or go over the trusses, depending on which section you're going through.
Sure.
So I don't like difficult roofs.
Sure.
Being a restricted builder and having to go into roofs a fair amount of times in between my professional life and also building houses. I found that you should have real good access to.
Well, and the other thing I also noticed when I was up there was that you guys have allowed for more gap between the external brick wall and the internal wall.
Correct.
To a lot of things. Something I didn't mention to you at the time, but a fair few years ago, I was in a roof for a home out in sort of the inner west of Sydney. And this particular gentleman had basically built his home. He was a single-story home, and he had effectively put conduit in all the walls.
So you can access everything
for all the points. So basically, what that meant was that when you got up in the roof and you looked out across the roof, you saw all these little
conduits everywhere.
sticking. And what that meant was that basically the wall, inside the inner wall, there was a piece of conduit going down for every single PowerPoint, network point.
Which would have had to be bricked in.
Yes.
Or put in, if it's brick veneer, would have had to be put in.
Correct. But I mean, the long-term benefit of that is huge. That means that
Yeah.
every single PowerPoint, every single network point,
Yeah.
anything that you have on these walls,
You can get to every single wall.
You can, and you can literally pull out every single cable and replace every single cable in the future.
Now, the reason John's mentioning that, because in the garage, when they normally do a double skin garage, because my garage is double skin, the rest of the house is brick veneer.
Okay.
So in the garage, when you normally brick your double bricks in garage, you have only a 10 mil gap between the two bricks. Okay, and that's usually filled with mortar.
Sure.
When the guys were bricking my house, I asked them to put a 40 mil gap.
Yeah, which is huge.
So in the garage. So if you are going to do that, and the reason I did that, because I wanted to make my garage look neat.
Yep.
So you can either put piers, a single skin and just put piers,
Okay.
or you can make it stronger and put a double brick.
Sure.
Now remembering that bricks on the external are not a structural part of the house. The structural part of the house is the inner brick, not the outer brick. So the outer is a facade only. So because I wanted to put a double brick, it made it a stronger structure. Okay. So that's why I put a 40 mil gap, so I can access any point around my garage to run anything new.
So does that mean that these internal walls are all 40 mil gap, or
internal walls are just one skin timber, and it's 90 mil timber.
But
on the outer
external-
parameter, they have a 50 mil actually.
Wow.
Yeah, 50 mil.
I mean, as a final comment, that's huge from being able to do things like mounting TVs on walls.
Correct.
One of
Outer
the-
walls are always the best to attach to, because you can access your power.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it also means that one of the things that you can do when you mount TVs on a wall is that you can then have it flush with the wall. But because you have such a deep gap in that wall, you can effectively cut a backing box into the actual
Correct.
wall and place all your cabling and all your bits and pieces of the wall.
Correct.
So that when you take the TV off the wall, what you don't realize is that there's effectively a square there that has
Yeah.
all the cabling placed.
Correct.
Great idea.
That's what I did in the theatre room. But all right, guys, I think we're going to finish this up.
Done.
John, thank you very much for coming on our live chat.
My pleasure.
This
Thanks
is
for the
your
invitation.
first time, and hopefully not the last. Joseph, wahash and a half, man. Wahash and a half. Man. By the way, the word wahash some people think is offensive. It's not. It's a joke, and it's a term of endearment as far as I'm concerned. This guy's incredible. The amount of energy he put into not just this video, but other videos.
We had fun. It was good.
And Joe's helped me and will be helping me in the future. I'm going to be doing a tiny home, and Joe's going to help me financially through his business, Intellect Finance. If you are looking for finance, I've put a link already below. He services the Sydney area. And he's really good. Very honest. It's very hard to find someone who does financing, mortgage broking. To be honest, they tend to try to play around with the figures a bit. And in the future, that can come back and haunt you and can be a nightmare, especially people who can't make their repayments. He will be honest with you and tell you whether you can or can't make repayments, and what he can and can't give you. And then he'll also tell you what some of the dangers might be in the future, or some of the opportunities in the future. So, great man.
Thanks, Musa.
Thank you. All right, guys, that's it. Now we're just going to go to the outro. But hey, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your time. And as I said, if you can please share and like these videos. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd ask if you could. It would really help. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much.
Both the
everybody.
donuts were good, by the way.